All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily, man. Today we're just going to go ahead, kind of recap so far what's happened in the trade deadline with the Houston Rockets. Things have been awfully quiet, man. Things have been, I think, way too quiet. So apparently the Houston Rockets, we discussed yesterday, do have 2 first-round offers on the table for Eric Gordon. Well, man, the bad news is Utah Jazz. They were one of the teams that was interested, and they just made a move today. They made a big trade today, so I think they're out of the runnings for Eric Gordon. Now, there's like the Lakers. I think the Suns are a pretty viable candidate. You might even have the Toronto Raptors try and creep in there. It's a tough situation, man. It's a tough situation. It's not looking good. The way players right now are being traded, we're not really seeing good return on a lot of the guys I think we were expecting a good return on. And so my worry right now is that Rafael Stone is kind of like, all right, well, I don't want to get fleeced. I don't want to do a bad trade. And Stone's been relatively quiet in his career during trades, like just with trades in general. They haven't made any like big time moves. They've done more just kind of getting rid of players like James Harden, PJ Tucker, just trying to get back as much value, as much draft capital as they were possible, or as they could. So my worry right now, man, is that Stone sees the trade deadline right now. He sees all these teams making moves, and he's like, all right, well, none of this so far has gone according to plan, so let's just kind of draw it up in the offseason. Let's just kind of try and figure out what to do here in the offseason, and we'll just take the same unit we have, maybe, trade away like David Nwaba or Daniel Tice, and we'll just, reevaluate, reassess in the offseason. The reason that's bad news is, and I'm not an Eric Gordon hater, Eric Gordon is having one of the best seasons in his entire NBA career right now. The man is 33 years old. The contract isn't too bad. Contract's not too bad. The Rockets aren't really in a position for the next year and a half where they need to have a lot of money in free agency. They're waiting for, a year and a half's free agency, 2023. So, Eric Gordon having the hell of a year he is, he's shooting over 40%, was averaging close to 15 points per game. You got to just try and get as much value as you possibly can for him. Now, the other player is Christian Wood, and the reason Christian Wood is being brought up, and I still don't believe the Rockets will make a trade away Christian Wood. There's reports coming out today that the Houston Rockets are still very much interested in PJ Washington, and if you guys have been watching my channel the last couple of days, you know my thoughts on PJ, man. He is one hell of a basketball player. He's having a down year right now. The Hornets brought in Plumlee in the offseason, and so you have PJ Washington putting up 10 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists, which sounds like good stats, but last season he put up 13 points, 6.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.1 blocks, and 1.2 steals per game. So PJ Washington right now, I think it's safe to say his trade value is probably, honestly, the lowest it will ever be in his career. Now the Charlotte Hornets right now, they sit 28-27. They're right there at the fringe, 9th seed. They're on the play-in tournament. They have 2.5 games, 3 games out from the 6th seed, and then they're also about 3 games out from being the 11th seed. So I think Charlotte, they should make the playoffs, unless you have a team like the New York Knicks just kind of completely take over, but they're on a 4-game winning streak right now. Charlotte's lost 5 straight. They've lost 5 straight basketball games, and I think it's clear if Charlotte wants to make like some type of move in the playoffs, they need to go out and they need to get a player. Like, they just need to get a player. And with Charlotte, you have so many assets, so many young assets, that it would make sense to try and get rid of one of them and bring in a guy like Christian Wood. I'm thinking PJ Washington and like a first-round draft pick, lottery protected, future first. I think that gets the job done. I really do. So I think if PJ Washington were to end up a Houston Rocket, I would be so happy. I think PJ Washington playing that 4 spot, even if he's playing backup center, you still have PJ on the bench for the rest of the season. But I'm very intrigued to see what PJ Washington and Alperen Şengün would be able to do together if they were the starting 4 and the starting 5. So like I said, man, really quiet offseason or really quiet trade deadline right now. I am worried Rafael Stone will not make a single move. I guess at the end of the day, it's not horrible. It's not. I guess no one really wants to get a bad trade, but I just dropped my damn microphone. Sorry. But anyways, I think Eric Gordon just needs to get traded. Just trade him for a first-round draft pick. I understand you want to get a mid-first-round pick for next season. Just take what you can get, man. Just literally take what you can get at this point for Eric. Try and bring back a young, promising kind of player who hasn't played really ever in the NBA. Get a fat salary filler in there, hopefully on an expiring contract, and let's just get the job done. Let's get it done. And I would love if Rafael Stone made at least one trade. All hope isn't lost, though. I remember we were freaking out last season during the trade deadline with Victor Oladipo, and Victor Oladipo ended up getting traded, and within the hour, the trade deadline actually ended. So we were all freaking out. I remember I was live, and that was just like so crazy. We were all thinking we were going to be stuck with Oladipo for the rest of the season. So that's it for today, guys. Hit the like button, hit that sub button for more Rockets content. I'll see you guys later.